Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
On the newspaper page, love and tradition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. Well, then there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. 'Cause all I see is a tower of dreams, real love bursting out of every seam. It's the bigger love of the family.
Yo, 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 it's your boy Chief on another Thursday night here in the Smoky Studios in the northwest corner of the great state of South Carolina on a Thursday, bringing you Chief Talk, baby. Big welcome then to Diana Burns, Banker John, Matt Brugger, Michael Snakovec, Ginger Effect, Matt, the Man Brugger, Cigar Pop, Supremo Tobacco, Terry T-Rex Hank. Welcome into the show, Charles Adamson. Oh, Charles Adamson was on the cameo of today's Barn Smoker video. If you didn't catch that, he was there. Bob the Cigar Guy's lying. He did not burn his mouth on anything. He's just scared. He's scared of tonight's talent. Let's see. Bob Ellis, welcome into the show. Mackie B says he's working in the garage, but mainly listening tonight. Sorry if I'm missing. Good, I can pick on Bob Cigar Guy. I'll be crying. Oh, we hit 20 viewers concurrent for the 33rd week in a row. Being a 33, this is the last Chief Talk that I'll be 33. Next Chief Talk, I'll have turned 34. Samuel Flo, welcome into the show. How are you doing? All right, I want to know, before we get the show rolling, actually, before we even get to that part, I do want to say a big thank you to Natura Cigars, Drew Estate Cigar, making sure that we have Chief Talk live and available for you all Thursday night, every Thursday night, unless we're traveling or on vacation, as you already know. Thank you to Drew Estate and Natura Cigar for making sure that Chief Talk is being broadcast live out of Traveling Fest, South Carolina, to all owners of these 50 great states and other countries in the world. Because if Ron Maggio comes on, he's in China. We get some people who watch from Germany. And sometimes Gary Brooks is up in Canada. So, without further ado, what are you smoking? What are you drinking? I will let you know what I'm smoking and drinking here in just a second after I change up this little thing right here, do this one right here, and bring in Bob the Cigar Guy. Bob the Cigar Guy is also with us. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. My tongue is burned.
Oh,
really
listen
bad,
to
so-
him.
He's
He's a faker. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. I am smoking a UF13 this evening. Obviously, I'll be pairing it with the illustrious, the wonderful, the best soft drink there is out there, Dr. Pepper. Bob Cigar Guy, what are you smoking and what are you drinking? We all want to know.
Oh, I'm rocking the best Diet Pepsi. Period.
Is
bar
that
none.
the best Diet Pepsi that was ever made?
The best carbonated beverage known to man.
Oh, that's a lie. That's a lie.
Diet
We did a
Pepsi.
pairing thing not too long ago, and Diet Pepsi got out in the very first round and lost again in the redemption round, by the way.
It does not matter. It does not matter.
Hey,
If
power of the
I
people.
am
Power of
on
the people,
truth,
baby.
I will stand alone on truth. I'm okay being
Power-
by myself in,
Power of the
in
people.
a position of real.
Matt Berger, thank you for the happy early birthday. Appreciate that. Michael Zakovic's got the JFR Habano. Bob Ellis has the Wise Man Lancero and an Earl Grey tea. Dan Burns, thank you. Thank you very much. The 10th is my birthday. Charles Adamson, it says a Liga 9. Matt Berger smoking an Underground 10 Ming with Traveler's Whiskey. Diana Burns says, I will be listening since I will be leaving shortly. I love listening to you and Bob. Hey, I'm glad that we are able to provide you some ear ticklage. Michael Zakovic says, drinking some Old Forge Distillery, Tennessee whiskey. Jim Jursek's got the vintage Diet Pepsi. Terry T-Rex has got a Kentucky Fire Cure drinking a C4 pineapple. Oh, what a combo. Little C4 and barbecue sauce. Actually, Bob Cigar, I'm glad you're not smoking anything right now because you're about to start smoking 4 cigars.
I don't know if I'm doing that. I
You
don't even know what this is.
Are getting called out. So tonight's show, I'm going to put myself as the main thing here. Tonight's show is called Calling Out a Cigar Reviewer by Name. Bob the Cigar Guy, I am calling you out because you, Bob the Cigar Guy, are a cigar reviewer. I am not. But you, Bob the Cigar Guy, are a cigar reviewer. So I am calling you out. I am putting you to the test. Tonight, I have 4 cigars. I know what these cigars are. And I will even tell you what these 4 cigars are. But I will not tell you in which order what these cigars are. And your job this evening, Bob the Cigar Guy, Diana Burns, I'm not a cigar reviewer, so you can't call me out. Your job, Bob the Cigar Guy, is to tell me which cigar is which.
Here's the thing.
So I have given you I have picked out 4 cigars from one company. I am going to provide you with the information of what these cigars are. I guess theoretically, you have a 25% chance on the very first cigar to get it right. Now, the cigars are somewhat the same, but the cigars are also 4 distinctive different cigars. And I will let you know what 4 cigars they are. Do you want to look at them and take a guess, or do you want me to just go ahead and tell you before I hand them to you?
Do you understand that if I don't get 4 out of 4 right, then people can be like, he doesn't know what he's doing as a cigar review. And 90% of the content of this channel is cigar review driven.
So
by
here's the
yours
thing
truly,
with that. Here's the thing with that.
95%.
So here's the thing. Your job as a cigar reviewer, right, is not to tell us what the cigar is as you smoke it. It's to tell us what you're tasting and what you're experiencing as you're smoking that cigar. So you can talk about these cigars in an eloquent way.
This
as
is just you
smoke
getting
them.
back at me for just dominating you all through your life. And now you're finding these small loopholes where I may not be successful. with these games that you're playing.
I am sure you were going to talk wonderful things about these cigars. I'm sure you're going to get at least one right. The odds are there for that. But I also think that this is going to give you a newfound perspective for these cigars.
I don't like this perspective.
Okay, so here are your 4 cigars, Bob the Cigar Guy. Actually, hold on, let me take me off of the main screen here. I'm handing these over to Bob the Cigar Guy through the power of the internet. You have 4 cigars, right? Show the lovely people Bob the Cigar Guy.
I have 4 cigars.
Now, you can easily tell which one is number 1, 2, 3, and 4, correct? Because I not only put the number, but I wrote out the number as well, just in case you're like, well, this that number, that's what I meant. That kind of looked like a 2, not a 3.
See,
all right. So
look, nobody wants to see this.
Oh,
nobody wants to see this.
I beg to differ.
Nobody
I beg
wants
to
to see
differ.
this.
I beg to differ.
Nobody.
Bob Ellis says, if there was a KFC plush to back, then I would be good. Mac Birkin says, if a guy does a top 10 list at the end of the year, can he say he's not a cigar reviewer? I'm not. I'm not reviewing those cigars. I'm just telling you what my favorite cigars were of the year. I'm a cigar taster. Like, I'll take that. Like, I'm happy. What are you doing? Are you? I picked 4 cigars that are pretty alike in color. There's not much. They're different blends. They're different wrapper leaves. Well, yeah, they're different wrapper leaves for the most part. But they are different. All right. Do you want to know what your 4 cigars are yet? Or do you want to try to shock the world and guess what all 4 cigars they are without me telling you which 4 what cigars you have?
No.
Okay, so you want to know.
Knock it down to 4 out of 5,620.
Now, some of these cigars are cigars that you are very familiar with. Some of these cigars are cigars that you're not very familiar with. But I think you will be able to use the process of elimination to help get you down.
All right, give me the 4. Give me the names.
Okay. They are all Drew Estate cigars.
I gathered.
Okay. So cigar number 1 is
you're gonna tell me what number 1 is?
Cigar number 1 is H99.
So this is the one this is 1 is H99.
No.
Well, then I guess it's H99.
Well, you're wrong.
All right, cigar number 1. Oh, so now I know it's not H99.
Right.
Aha.
Or do you?
You just
what
said
kind of game am I playing with you?
Yeah.
Cigar number 2 is a Underground 10.
Oh. All right.
Cigar number 3 is a T52.
If you did Liga 9, you suck.
And cigar number 4 is a Liga Privada Numero 9.
Yeah. You suck.
Okay. Do I really, though? Because I gave you 4 banger blends.
Yeah, but 52 and 9.
I gave you 4 banger blends. I could have given you like Dog Rocket City.
You could have gave me a Pappy.
Right? Oh yeah, that would have been super hard to figure out.
You could have gave me a Super Ancho.
Yeah, I could have given you a. I did choose 4 cigars that were all the same Vitola, so that
and you purposely did not give me.
Yeah, I could have given you a Savage Feast. I could have given you a Feral. I could have given you a Phineas Gage, and I could have given you a Drew Estate Egg.
Yeah, but see, what you did was you gave me cigars. You didn't give me a outlier, something that I don't ever smoke. And so as soon as I taste, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't smoke that. So
right,
I know that's.
I wanted to put your palate through somewhat of a little bit of a work this evening. I mean, hey, you're a cigar reviewer. You've got to show the people what you can do. Charles Adamson says Chief is rebranding cigars good. Mark Perkins says, hey y'all, just smoked a La Galera Anamois tonight. First try with the house. Pretty darn good, gentlemen. We'll be trying more. Welcome into the show. Dan Burns says, are all 4 Ligas? Well, it depends on what you classify as Liga, because Liga means blend. So
Underground
yes.
10 wouldn't be in that, but they signing on.
Well, Steve Saka calls all his cigars Ligas because Liga means blend. Liga Privada is just a private blend, right? All right. Bob Ellis says, which cup did I poison? Mark Perkins said, tried a Liga 10-year over the weekend. By far my new favorite from the line. T52 slid solidly into second. T52 is a good cigar. Liga 10 is a great cigar too. Dameron says, I think just by looking, number 2 is Liga number 9. Jay Bates says, what's the game tonight? Jay Bates, the game tonight is I have given Bob the Cigar Guy 4 cigars. And I have given him the 4 blends of the cigars. And he has to be able to tell me, and us, all of us here in Chief Talk land, which cigar is which. Now, he's being a ding-dong over there, and he's like, oh, I'm going to introspectively look at this and try to get an information off of the blend. It's like, instead of just smoking it and going off of his palate. He's
the funny
so
thing.
worried. Bob the Cigar Guy is so worried.
Here's the funny thing. If you're not a cigar reviewer, you would probably make a delineation like, oh, he's trying to find the blend. Like, I know which tobacco is which and this and that. But cigar number 4, if you look at cigar number 4, it is a much darker cigar than cigar number 3. And so in smoking cigar number 3 first, I'm going to get that fresh first puff compared to if I would have done with a heavy.
Well, hopefully
first.
What you do is you light them all 4 around the same time. And you kind of puff around and try to go around what you think they are. So,
all right. So
now this isn't this would be pretty difficult, I think, especially with the 4 blends that I've given you. But I also think that it's also not as hard as it could have been, right? I could have completely screwed you up and gone with giving you the names of 4 cigars like I've done now and giving you just some wild cigars. Like, you've got to determine which one's which. I could have gone that difficult. I didn't.
Like, I wanted protocol.
I wanted to go, oh yeah, we got JC Newman in here. We got some Saka in here. We got protocol. We've got all sorts of different. We got CAO in there. We got Aganorsa. We've got, La Gloria Cubana, races, all sorts of cigars are in here, right? Now, obviously, Drew Estate's like the easiest one to choose from. But I also wanted to go with 4 cigars that pretty much looked the same. And I will say, I did find the darkest H99 in existence. If you look, all of those cigars don't just automatically scream H99, which is a primarily lighter wrapper. And I also didn't find a stone black Liga Privada number 9 either. So I tried to keep them pretty close. Jim, I don't think we have any Lampert cigars in here. Banker John says, Jim, BTCG will walk after 2 hours. Now, he's not going to smoke them all down. He's going to smoke them into where he can feel like he's getting a good enough flavor profile off of the cigars to make it. Obviously, we're not going to run a 4-hour show tonight. That wouldn't be fun. Because ultimately, we have to find something to talk about during the show. And you've got to participate in the show, Bob Cigar. You can't just sit there and, what is this? You got to participate. I actually got this idea
from Satan.
No, from Fabian. Whenever he used to work with Drew Estate, he used to run the DE4L podcast, Drew Estate for Life podcast he would do. And he went over to California one time. Actually, I think it was the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. And Chairman Lai was there. It was somewhere over there. I don't know if it was in California or whatnot. But Chairman Lai and Fabian and another person, they did a Undercrown, a number 9, and a T52, I think it was. And Fabian was able to identify the 3 cigars for one another. Did I call Fabian Satan? No, I didn't. Bob the Cigar is the one who referenced Satan, not I. The first lady says that she'd watch Bob the Cigar Guy walk away. Jim Jurasek says,
I
BTCG,
like that.
talk your way through each cigar.
All right, so I already know what this one is.
Okay.
But that's like, making a hole in one on the first thing on the Masters. You don't want to see that. You want to see that at the end. So
Okay. No, I don't want you to guess yet. If you are confident in your guess, be confident in your guess. But as you smoke through the other four, you may change your mind.
Yeah.
You may be like, oh, wait a minute. This is actually what I taste here.
No, you're
now,
right.
I don't want you, please play the game well. I don't want you just to smoke on one cigar and then be done, and then smoke another cigar and then be done, and then smoke another cigar and be done. I want you to kind of play around with the cigars back and forth.
Look at all your rules you're trying to put on.
No,
me.
I'm trying to make content here. I'm trying to make sure that we have content for people to watch. We don't want to just be watching you smoke one cigar at a time. That's
I've
no
only
fun.
smoked this much of it. I don't even have the full flavor going on yet. I got to work it just a little bit.
But you haven't even lit any of the other cigars.
No,
to get a
because I've got
profile.
to get some. I've got to get some flavor over
He's
this.
so worried. He is so worried about getting any of these wrong because he thinks that if he gets something wrong about a cigar that he has no idea what it is, then everybody's going to stop watching him, which is a ludicrous idea to begin with. You are not smoking cigars to tell people what the brand is. You're smoking cigars to tell people what your palate picks up from the cigars.
I'm honestly pretty sure I know exactly what this cigar is.
Fantastic.
Out of all the cigars that are in the 4, I was the most confident that I'd be able to pull that one out. And this is the first one I picked up.
Jay Bates says, first lady, keep it PG. Charles Edmondson says, taste for the infamous Mexican hot chocolate in the Underground 10. Mac Birkin says, can you tell Chief is married to a school teacher with all these rules?
My main problem is going to be on the 9 and the 52 because
do you have the volume turned all the way down on this thing?
I know the 9 is one of them is spicier, one of them is less spicier, and I can't remember if it's the 9 that's the spicier one or the 52. I think the 9 is spicier. The 52 was a little bit more muted because it's the second one that came out, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't smoke 9s and 52s much. Out of all the ligas, those are my lower on the totem pole of things I enjoy to smoke.
And again, remember, I chose 4 cigars that you're familiar with. I chose 4 cigars that you smoked within the last year of each other. I guarantee you have smoked all 4 of these cigars in the last 365 days. I know that you smoked.
I smoked all these at Barn Smoker.
I was going to say you've probably smoked all 4 of these within the last month.
I smoked them all at Barn Smoker.
So I didn't want to go too terribly off the wall, weird base. That wouldn't be any fun. Just sitting here watching you squirm is fun in itself.
Thanks.
But
all right, let me sit that down.
Last week you got smoked
before Chief throws a hissy fit.
Last week you got absolutely trashed by the close-ups on the bands. I think you got what, 3 out of 11?
4.
Was it 4?
4.
So yeah, you got trashed with that. And then you did what was it? You did really good with the brand names through pictures. One, you did really well on that one. But that one was a little easier. That one I didn't make it as obscure as it could have been because I wanted to make it a little easier for you because the first one we did.
We don't seltzer water, do we?
No. Well, we got regular water. But the first one was the Who's Eyes, and you technically failed that one too.
No, I did not.
Yeah,
pass
you did.
that one.
No,
I passed it.
You got 6 out of 10, which is a 60, which is a failing grade in today's metrics and standards. And it's the same metrics and standards that I had when I was a kid. So most recent rules win.
No.
Yes.
Since I was the participant,
I'm the principal here. This is called Chief Talk, not Bob Argues.
But it's Chief Talk on the Bob.
J Bates says, I believe Tip 52 has some of that habano wrapper, which gives the spice and pepper flavor. J Bates says, BTCG, phone a friend. Is that who was texting you over there?
No. I have people who love me.
J Bates says 60 is passing. No, it's not. 60 is failing. 70 is passing. 60 or anything below 70 is a fail. And again, I'm the principal when it comes to grades here in Chief Talk. Michael Carter says, hello, Chief. Hi, Bob. And hello, fam. Welcome in, Michael Carter. How you doing? Jim Jursic says, BTCG, if given a phone, a friend, call Chief. Sorry, my phone's on silent. Still Bob Ellis says 64 and below is an F. Well, still, even by Bob Ellis's metrics, you still failed.
I'm not going off anybody's metrics but my own.
Michael Carter says, leave a like. Oh, Michael Carter, thank you for saying that, because I have this little thing here that I can push that says, if you're over on YouTube, make sure you do hit the like button. And if you're not currently a subscriber, do subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification so you can be notified when cool videos like today's barn smoker video went up. You can be told, hey, Bob Cigar Guy and Chief put up a new video today. If you're not watching just primarily over on YouTube and you're over here on the Facebook, you can do the same thing. You can leave a like on the stream. You can even share it to your favorite cigar groups. Make sure you're following the page. It says there's a bell, but I didn't know you could ring a bell over on Facebook. I do get notifications from the Bob Cigar Guy page from time to time, but they're not anything that I do. So I don't know why that happens or what it comes from. But do make sure that you're in the loop and following us alongside. Also, make sure that you're following ChevetteReport.com. First link in the description to make sure that you're up to date with all of the most recent press releases as they come out hot off the presses. We've had a couple press releases in the past week. Make sure you go check up on those at ChevetteReport.com. And then the last link in the description takes you to our Chief Talk Discord, where you can be a part of the fun throughout the week. And speaking of Discord, and we did not have this last week, so let's go ahead and do it. We have a Chief Talk stick pick of the week. That's right. This week is Ronald Smith. Oh. There it is. Whoops. Wrong button. That was totally by accident. I love this photo because Ron Smith is smoking an Undercrown 10, and he's got it on a pole that says, no smoking permitted, please. So I thought, ooh, little bad boy Ron breaking the rules. Ronald Smith is this week's stick pick of the week. Chief Stogie picture of the week. If you want to be considered for the stick pick of the week, head over to our Discord, and if you're not a part of it, second link in the description, and post a picture of your cigar on Discord to be considered for next week's pick. Over on Discord, we have a channel that is called Now Smoking, and that's where we post most of the time all the cigars that we are smoking. Some people post in wrong channels, but it's okay. It's not habitual. Well, we love the people who just post and have fun. So if you want to be considered for next week's Chief Talk stick pick of the week, you can head over to the Discord, post what you're smoking. It doesn't have to be super fancy. Sometimes it can be funny. Sometimes it can be a cigar lineup. Sometimes it can be just a banger photo. It's all subject to me, to whoever wins. And this week it was Ronald Smith. At the end of the year, which is coming up soon, we're going to compile all these photos together, and we're going to see who had the best stick pick of the week, and they will receive something really cool. We actually have an Aganorsa ashtray that we have been wondering what to do with, so maybe we'll give that away. I don't know. We haven't decided that yet. Dan Burns says, yeah, when I was in school, 90s was an A, 80s was a B, 70s C, 60s D's, and everything else was an F. J8 says, that cigar BTCG is smoking now looks like an Undercrown 10. Facebook only notifies when BTCG is featured because they are driving the views. Dan Burns says that was his grade scale back in the 1900s. Michael Sackvick says, congrats, Ron Smith. I would take that personal. So what? He is old. Is that what we're taking personal? So no, yeah.
No, the wah.
Oh, yeah, that was an accident. It was meant to be. I'm only over here once a week. I don't use this board but for Chief Talk. So Bob the Cigar Guy is probably, hey, we're at 30 people. That's 3 weeks in a row, by the way. We're at 30 concurrent viewers. I have not been like
so glad I have such a great big audience.
But 3 weeks in a row, we are pumping the 30 number again. So it takes us up to like 12 shows this year where we've had 30 concurrent viewers at one time. So yeah, great to have everybody here with us this evening. Do want to say thanks to Rick Carroll and Sammy Fuller for hitting the love button on Facebook, and Ron Maggio, Dan Burns, and Charles Adamson for hitting the like button over on Facebook as well. I think it also probably has a little bit to do with the title of tonight's show. Because I said I'm calling out a cigar reviewer by name. And if you're here for that, you're here for the drama. I called out Bob the Cigar Guy to test his palate. I gave him 4 cigars, and he's got to blindly figure out which cigar is which. Dan Burns says there's only 15 likes on the YouTube, so we need to get those numbers pumping. Pump it.
So I am
a little man got a
relatively confident with my first 2 cigars. You done? Are you done yet? You done? Are you done? Oh, that's right. I can't mute you because you still have the board over there. I'd mute you. But
I'm just a poor boy from a poor family.
Two,
from a monstrosity. Easy come, easy go. Will you let me go? Bismillah. No, we will not let you go. We'll go. Bismillah. We will not let you go.
He's a little nervous.
Bismillah. We will not let you go. Let him go. We will not let you go. Let him go.
He's waiting for Bob the Cigar Guy to fall on his face, and so he has to try to silence him.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Can't silence the smoke.
I'm just having a lot of fun. Now, if I wanted to silence you, I mean, I can mute you from over here. So, nice try. There we go.
I am loud enough. I am unmutable.
No, I can just mute both of us. And then you can't hear anything. Nice try. So I'm glad you're having fun over there. I'm glad you're not panicking any longer. You know, when I told him, when it came in, I told him, I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing that.
That's retarded.
I'm not doing that.
It's dumb.
I'm not doing that. I'm scared.
I didn't ever know. You kiss my tail. No. But I am somewhat confident I might know the first 2.
All right. So I'm going to do something since we have all the time in the world to, well, not all the time in the world. We have a set deadline as to when we run the show, but what I can do is,
Dan, I'm smoking the 3rd cigar. This is actually cigar number 2. I smoked cigar number 3 first, number 1 second. Now I'm on number 2, and number 4 will be 4.
So while we're watching you smoke cigars, we will go through some of the press releases that went up over this last week. Aventura unveils the Renegade exclusive Queen's Pearl Diadema for Renegade Cigars, which is in Richardson, Texas. If I do remember correctly, the Diadema is a nice little, almost like a torpedo into a Solomon, but not as tight as a Solomon.
It's a double perfecto, yeah.
So it's continue reading. I'm already subscribed. So nice little box. Nice to see the Queen's Pearl getting a nice little addition to the Aventura line. Also, McAuliffe Green is the latest addition to the McAuliffe line of, why did it do that? Line of cigars. Got a nice little addition there. I think the last one they did was purple, and I heard that the purple was actually really good. And then also today, no, this was not today. This was Tuesday. Blackwork Studio releases the Tiger Saurus, which is a triple wrapper cigar.
It's a cool box.
It features a Pennsylvania broadleaf, a Connecticut broadleaf, and a Candela wrapper on it. $20, well, $19 cigar. I say I round it up, but I'll say, because I have to be correct here, $19 cigar. But look at that. That's pretty cool. You got the little ribbon, kind of, it almost looks gold in there. I assume that's probably the Connecticut broadleaf, that lighter color. I think the PA broadleaf is darker, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Depends on if it's number 2 darks or not, which is the Connecticut.
Now, the one thing that does bother me about these cigars in this box is not every band is going the same way.
And the way the photo was taken, it looks like it's some weird shaped cigar. It's
Well,
the
it's
shadow
the
and the
shadows,
cutouts on the in betweens.
So like this, look at this. This wrapper's going this way, and then this wrapper's going this way. But these two are going this way. That one's going that way. Like for me, from like an OCD standpoint, I would want to.
They should have packed the box all lefts and all rights,
or
not all cigars can be rights to the other.
Not all cigars can be rolled to the left.
Right, you have two sides of leaves.
Right. So sometimes sometimes you got to flip the leaves over to to work it just right. Make it fit. You don't want to waste your cigar leaves.
So when you're packing your box, you ought to.
So yeah, if you pack a box, I would have like if I bought this box or we got this box in, I would probably be like, okay, do I have what? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Do I have 7 that go one way and the 7 go the other way?
Yeah, I'd want to see it going that way too.
Right. And then what else? Yeah, foundations. The 2 Lanceros got shipped out last week. We actually got those in the shop.
We don't have those.
Not this place, not this shop. The shop that I work at.
We don't have those.
The shop that I work at. So it's the Wise Man Corojo and the Wise Man Maduro. Corojo is a Nicaraguan Puro. Nice. Featuring a Corojo 99 wrapper over filler tobaccos from Esteli, Jalapa. Esteli and Jalapa, delivering spice, cedar, and a refined natural sweetness. While the Maduro Lancero pairs a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper with a San Andreas binder and Nicaraguan fillers for a rich profile of cocoa, espresso, and earth. Pretty nice little Lanceros. If you're a Lancero fan, keep out an eye on it. And we talked about this last week. The Drew Estate started shipping their Liga Privada 10 humidors with the lighter and the cutter, plus the Savage Feast cigars as well. Come over here and stop sharing my screen and bring us back up here. Bob Ellis says the Corojo Lancero is really good. Hope to get the Maduro. Epicurean Smoke says, yo, what up? Bob Ellis says, great content over on the Chevette Report this week. I really like the Queen's Pearl and the McAuliffe Green and Purple. Martino says, good night. Good night. Hope you have a good one. When I go into work tomorrow, I might be picking up one of those Lanceros to test it out. I'm not a Lancero fan. And honestly, Bob Ellis and I, we don't share a lot of the same likes when it comes to our palate. So it would not surprise me if the Corojo was a cigar that I ended up not liking. And it's not like an anti Bob Ellis agenda or Bob Ellis having an anti-Chief agenda. It's just our palates just don't line up as well as mine does with somebody like Gary Brooks, who he and I kind of shared the same flavor profile likes. It's kind of funny. He's like, if you suggest a cigar, I usually always like it. Which I also have 100% record at the shop with suggesting cigars to people and then being like, wow, those are great cigars. Thank you. It is. But it is it's a statement piece. It's not, while it is created for every man and woman to be able to enjoy it, it is created as a luxury piece. So it's not created for the budget smoker, but it's supposed to be.
It's a very limited release.
It's supposed to be a statement piece. It's meant to be a look at what I got. Look at what I got in it, and look at what came with it too. It's going to be a flex. One of the things that Jonathan Drew said in the press release when he had his quote was, make sure you bring your cutters and your lighters to Barn Smokers and Family Reunion, which is this weekend, so that we can see them. Flex them out in the wild. Show everybody you got them. There's been plenty of people over on the Facebook page that are like, yeah, look what I got. I'm balling over here. So, but that's kind of how Liga Privada is, right? Liga's, aside from the Fritas, right? Nasty or Papas, Liga Privada is a pretty expensive cigar. I mean, even with my discount, I don't buy a lot of them. Let's see. Where is the Aganorsa press release? I didn't have an Aganorsa press release this week.
There's a new rep. I just saw it today dropped on Facebook.
Well,
It was late afternoon too when it dropped.
I don't have that one. Charles Adamson says, is anyone else doing the Kentucky DE family reunion on Saturday? Oh, Charles Adamson's going to the family reunion. Bob says, I'm not a Lancero guy either. I seem to lean more BTCG palette. Maybe it's an older guy thing. Touche. They partnered with Miney Bags Soda, Gene Simmons Company.
Yeah, that was earlier this week.
I didn't.
Gene Simmons has a soda company now, and Aganorsa is going to showcase those and have them as pairings at some of their events.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I think they're actually going to do an Aganorsa pairing soda from Gene Simmons, a collaboration kind of thing. Yeah.
You're smoking up the humidor over there, man. It is a fog fest over there.
One of the only good things about having to do this is that I've got to edit. I've done yesterday I shot like 5 videos. I didn't have time to edit them.
So you're not going to finish all those cigars
be smoking
tonight?
all these cigars the next 2-3 days, because Chief believes that when I'm done reviewing, because when I review a cigar, sometimes I've got a lot of cigar left, and I'll put it in the ashtray because I go on to my next review or my next story or whatever it is, and Steven's like, no, you just throw those away. The heck I do. I will pull them down and smoke them up. I'm not wasting those cigars.
Yeah, we're putting the. I think I got it on the highest setting. I do. Yeah, you are. You are a. Do you have the fans on in the roof?
One.
Yeah, we probably need to open the door to get some makeup air. Hold on, I'll put you entertaining people for a second, Bob Cigar Guy.
So I have. Thank you. I've smoked all 4. I actually am somewhat confident, hopefully not mistakenly, about at least 2. And then the other 2, I think that I may be able to get it. Now, then again, I may be completely wrong on all 4. So don't know till you know. And so the scary thing is, though, Chief, I don't know if he wrote down which 4 cigars they are before the show so that he could change his mind and say, no, that's not right. No, that's not. I mean, we have to wonder if we can trust the results from Chief. That's all I'm saying. So I might have got them right, but Chief is going to make it look like I got them
I have a strip of tape over here.
A strip of tape.
Yeah.
I have a strip of tape on each one of these. That tells me nothing.
I have a strip of tape that tells me which one's what. So what you're doing is you're calling into question my my honor and integrity. So what I did, 1, because I want to be able to tell you yes or no. 2, in case somebody like Mac freaking Bergson is like, oh, he's making Bob never really got them wrong. He got them wrong. Cigar Guy, the best cigar guy. He's the best cigar viewer out there.
I love that.
I'm Mac Bergson. I sell tools and tools accessories.
I love that accent. Where did you get that from?
My sister. I had to listen to her growing up.
I don't think she sounds like that.
Yeah, well, take the blinders off.
So, cigar number 3.
All right. Oh, so you're going to guess?
Cigar number 3.
Okay.
H99.
Okay. Interesting.
No. Answer the question.
No.
That's my answer. No, that's my answer.
No.
No.
Because then you'll just do process of elimination.
I'm not doing processes of elimination. I know what they all are now.
You've already submitted what your number 3 is. You've already submitted what your number 3 is. My answers aren't going to change. But if I tell you yes or no, you're going to be like, oh, crap. Now I've got to figure out which one's H99 now.
Now you're pulling my integrity in the call.
No. I'm not giving you an extra help.
I've already written them down here.
Okay.
I already have my answers.
Okay. Well, you're going to go through your 4 answers, and I'll let you know.
So, cigar number 1 is the Undercrown.
Okay. Interesting. What made you feel that way?
A couple things. It was the least oily of the wrappers. It was more rugged than the rest of them, and as soon as you fired it up, you got that aggression straight up front. You got a punch of aggression. I'm not pulling chocolates off of anything, so it's not that Mexican San Andreas. But when I did anytime I smoke the Undercrown, I don't get, or the Undercrown 10 or whatever. This is the Undercrown, right? So the Undercrown didn't have that Mexican hot chocolate thing going on. But it still was the most aggressive out of all. So,
okay. I will say, H99 is also not an oily cigar.
Yeah, but
there's only one cigar in that lineup that is actually an oily cigar.
The one that I marked as H99 was the only one that had a sweetness to it.
Okay.
It was remarkably different comparative to the rest.
Okay.
And then I went with number 2 as the T52 and number 4 as the Liga 9.
All right. So now line them up in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let me know what they are, because I forgot which one you said was which. So what did you say was number 1?
Let me look at my paper.
My
paper.
Nobody can understand that chicken scratch.
I can.
Of course you can.
By the way, the design of the new Christmas ornaments on the back right
Boo, there. It sucks.
I love it. Number 1 was the Undercrown.
Okay. Number 2?
The T52.
Okay. Number 3?
H99.
And number 4?
Process of elimination.
Okay. I'll give you the cheat sheet here.
Just go ahead and read it off.
No, here you go.
Go ahead and read it off.
I'll let you
go ahead and read it off.
Honors.
No. Go ahead and read it off. I look at it after you're done.
I'm not doing it. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna let you pull the Band-Aid off. I'll let you be a big boy.
I want to give you the chance.
Which cigar did you enjoy the most? Was it okay? So with your findings, did you feel like you were kind of exonerated in the way that you feel about all 4 of those cigars?
Say it again.
So do you feel justified, vilified, in the sense of like, oh man, I've got a UC10, a Liga 9, T52, H99 here. I know I'm going to like the H99 the most. Did you smoke a cigar and be like, oh, I actually don't think I liked that H99 the most. I liked the UC10 the most.
If the H99 if my answers are correct, I like the H99 more than the rest of them.
Okay.
Just because I'm not a super pepper guy. And I like a little bit of inherent sweetness. To be honest, when doing reviews, the reason why I don't do blind reviews, the main reason I don't do blind reviews is because nobody goes into a cigar lounge and buys cigars and then takes the bands off and throws them in the humidor and then smokes them later. The band actually does add to the flavor experience, to the smoking experience, I should say. And so it gives you these preconceived notions and it gives these expectations. And I don't have a problem with that. I think it actually is okay because I'm not smoking it with a group of people and we're all tasting the same thing and have to have the same agreement. Right. It's whatever I like and however I like it. And so if I gain more pleasure out of being able to see the band and know that it's that and that I have an affection for it, whether it's a true affection or not, I value that more than just just tasting the tobacco as a tobacco.
And this wasn't a blind cigar review. And honestly, the blind cigar review thing kind of gets me. It's like, well, honestly, any cigar review is a blind cigar review other than just your expectations for the brand.
Well, yeah, but
if you've never smoked a Liga 9 before, whether the band is on it or not, it's the first time you're experiencing that cigar.
Correct. But you could research your what other people think about it. You could also research what
a blind cigar review. A blind
are.
Cigar review isn't, oh, I didn't do any research on this cigar. A blind cigar review is, oh, let me take the bands off of these things and try to figure out what cigar it is based off of what I'm tasting, off of, no hints and no clues.
Right.
Now, I give you hints and clues, right? I told you they were Drew Estate. I told you which cigars were in the lineup. So it wasn't like You were completely blind going into this.
I
And
could not have
think-
guessed.
I
If
think
you wouldn't
the
give me the
blind-
names, I could not have guessed those.
That'd be way too hard, though.
I couldn't do it.
That'd be way too hard. That'd been way too difficult.
That's not my wheelhouse.
That's with the amount of cigars that we have in here and the amount of cigars that we smoked. When you attribute flavors to what you know the cigar is, and so the bands help in that retrospect. That's one of the reasons why bands are awesome, is because, oh, I smoked the cigar, I loved it. What was that band? What was the, oh, so anytime I go into a shop, I see that band, I'm going to want to buy that cigar again. That's what helps me out when I suggest cigars in the humidor to people when I do my job throughout the week, right? Is I know those cigars. If you took all the bands off of cigars in there, I couldn't,
Right.
I might be able to lead you in the right direction based off of, what I see, how dark a cigar wrapper is, or if it's more oily,
Right.
or is there, is it a shorter, is it a bigger cigar? Or is it, something that looks like a Maduro, or is it something that looks like a shade? I can point you in directions based off of that. But most of my information is informed based off of what I've smoked and remembering what it was that I smoked when I smoked the cigar, whether I liked it or whether I didn't. Now, I point a lot of people in the direction of Drew Estate Foundation and DeMartin Tobacco and Trust, because those are cigar brands that I'm very familiar with and I love a lot.
Right.
I also point people in the direction of a lot of Alec Bradley, because I really like a lot of the stuff that Alec Bradley's put out here recently. The My Father stuff, the new My Father Blue, fantastic cigar. Really like that cigar. That's one thing I want to ask you is, you got to smoke some cigars this week, and before we get into that, I want you to grab the tape. I want you to see what you came up with, and then let the people know whether you were right or wrong, or half right or half wrong.
Now, see, that's cheating. Cigar number 1 was the Acid Plush. Cigar number 2 was the Undercrown Shade. Cigar number 3 was the Rocky Patel
That's
Edge.
funny. That's funny. Because if that was true, you really would get the pine for how bad of a palate you have. If you couldn't figure out that the Acid Plush was the first cigar. Boy, that'd have to be an Acid Plush that sat in the truck in the sun with the windows down for 8 months.
All right, so I said cigar number 1. Let me get all dramatic on this. Cigar number 1, I said,
Whoops.
was the Undercrown. Steven's paper, his little piece of tape here, says cigar number 1 is the Undercrown.
Yay.
If you would have put the boo thing or the crickets, I would have known you did that on purpose. All right, cigar number 2, which I said was the T52. Steven's paper says T52. For cigar number 3, the one that I was sure of. Now this is the one that I was so sure. This was the H99. I knew it was the H99. There's a 9 in it, plus another 9 and an H. This was an H99. And cigar number 4, wrong one,
By process of elimination can only be.
I said was the number 9, and this is the number 9. We will never do this again. Ever, 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 ever do this again.
You went 4 for 4.
Now, what did you think I'd go 4 for 4?
I thought that if you could figure out Undercrown 10, it would be easy the rest of the way.
It was so aggressive.
I wanted to throw in an Undercrown.
It was so aggressive. Now, Undercrown 10 would have been hard.
We did not have any Undercrown in here other than Undercrown Sun-Grown. Nope. It's the Decade of Dedication. We don't have any.
Singles right there.
I looked. We had a Cigar Dojo Undercrown 10, but we did not have a regular Undercrown 10. That was what I wanted, so I threw the H99 in there because I found a really dark H99.
God, that sucked. That sucks so bad.
So congratulations.
Thank you. I haven't been this stressed as when I did the Saka STFU sampler.
That's funny.
That was awful. The STFU sampler was awful. But well, now I feel a little bit better about myself.
There you go. So that means that we can do this again in the future, and it'll get harder.
No.
Did I mention yet that Chief Talk is sponsored by not only Drew Estate Cigar, but Natura Cigar, making sure that Chief Talk is available every single Thursday. for you guys to come and hang out with us and sit with us and have a fun time. I will say this has been some of the more fun stuff we've done in a while, back-to-back weeks with a game show. The next one we do, and it's gonna be a while before we do this because it's gonna have to take some contraption building for me. We're going to do a drink blind taste testing. No funny gimmicks where one of them's hot sauce or something like that or mayonnaise. But I'm going to put to test your palate when it comes to diet sodas and whether or not you're going to be able to tell if you really do prefer Diet Pepsi.
Well, I do struggle between Diet Dr. Pepper and Diet Sprite. I can't tell them apart. They look identical. They taste the same.
Sammy Flo says that you're a certified cigar reviewer. Jimmy J says, I just had a UC10 for the first time about a week ago. Enjoyed it very much. Bob says, love the UC10. Bought a box. Martino says, I agree with Bob. H99 is the best of the lineup. Matt Scaife says, games are the best. Matt Brugger says, UC10 is my fave. Lounge is decorated in UC10. Jay Bates says, TikTok and myself will take credit for the next game. Bob Cigar Guy can add the success to his cigar review resume.
That could have went ugly.
It could have.
That could have went
ugly.
ugly.
I honestly hoped it was going to, because I would have loved to have done a lot of those.
Yeah.
But
and I must say, Jay Bates and Mac Berkson saved my bacon with their little sly comments in the very beginning where Jay Bates says, I think that the T52 is a little bit spicier than the 9.
Which I disagree on, by the way. No. I think the T52 is more mellow. I prefer T52 over the 9.
I'm not a T52 or 9 guy.
Now,
I just never have been.
I confidently would have gotten the H99, no problem.
It's so different.
It is.
It is
such a different cigar.
There's such a subtle sweetness. There's a steak quality to it.
H99 was not intended to be in this lineup because of how different of a cigar it is. We just happened to have a really dark wrapper H99.
That was the same about size.
No, they are. They're all Toros.
Yeah, so I couldn't break down through Vitola. I mean, if you would have put a Super Ancho up there, it would have been really
right.
Really,
yeah, if I'd have done a Super
right?
Ancho and a Feral Pig and stuff like that,
Phineas Gage.
Yeah, that would have been. I wanted to find cigars that were pretty close to each other. Obviously, Undercrown was made to be the poor man's Liga.
Right.
We just didn't have any regular Undercrown in here, and if I'd have known that, I would have picked up some on the way, here from the shop.
Now, what you should have done was got one of those Opus from Dubai.
And I saved you out a pack. You decided not to get it.
Yeah, I'm not spending $160-something on 4 cigars.
I got it to $115.
Still can't do it.
By the way,
still can't do it. I wanted it, but I couldn't do it. I didn't even. I was so good. I didn't even go up to the lady working behind the bar while you were in the humidor and say, "Go ahead and put this on Chief's tab." And then took off real fast.
It got a lot cheaper than $115. You did that.
Broke out real fast.
That's okay. I told you that if you'd put stuff on my tab, I would have punched in all the information on the channel card to pay the tab.
That's not.
But it's 48% off. So
still not the right thing to do.
No, no, we wouldn't have done that, obviously. But
it's fun to talk about, though.
It is. It's just fun to mention that I have a 48% off member or employee discount.
They probably are not happy that you keep talking about it.
Maybe not.
I
guess I probably shouldn't say that a bunch.
Probably not.
Whoops. It's a perk of working, right? So, all right. So now we're going to get into the part of the show where we talk about, hey, did you smoke anything new in the last week? And if you did, what was it? And what did you think about it? And I know that you smoked at least 2 new cigars.
I did. And one that sticks out really hard to me is the Guardian of the Farm.
I was talking about 2 other different cigars.
Oh, you were talking about the My Father Blue, which the first third was amazing. As it got back to the second third and back into the finger burning zone where the band was, it just kind of turned into a normal cigar. That first third was so bright, was so crispy, was so clean. A lot of flavors popping off. But as it got back, it just kind of lost its gas to me. If I had unlimited amount of money and I didn't care about wasting things and I wanted to smoke a full size My Father Blue, I'd buy 3 and I'd smoke the first third 3 times. It was that much more. I don't think it was transitions either. I just think that the way the tobacco is and the way the blend is set up, that the smoke, as you're smoking it back, it just really just glosses over the rest of the cigar. It really just covers the flavors. It just muted it out. It's like listen to some concert and then sticking your head in a pool and you can't hear it as well. You still hear the notes, but you just don't hear it as crisp. But it was a great cigar. What other cigar did I smoke?
The Kintsugi Wabi Sabi.
I did smoke the Kintsugi Wabi Sabi. It was good. I like the original Kintsugi better. Kintsugi Wabi Sabi seemed like it was a little bit more of a fragile blend. It didn't have as much meat on the bone. It was nice. It wasn't light by any stretch of the imagination. It just didn't have the depth that I was really expecting for it to just ring out. The box is amazing. That
Jimmy J, absolutely. If you've smoked something new within the last week, please do let us know how you liked it and whether we should keep an eye out for it or not.
And I smoked the 5 year.
I just looked. Hold on a second. I just looked. The My Father Blue is a complete Honduran Puro. I want to say Habano, and I couldn't get Puro off my tongue, but yeah, it's a Honduran Puro, which I guess makes a little sense for how light of a cigar it is for as dark of a wrapper it is. Yeah. I like it a lot. I've smoked like 5 of them. I really enjoy that cigar. Now, one cigar I have smoked a handful of now that we have them at the shop that I'm starting to enjoy a lot more. And maybe it's just because I'm biased because I love the company, but the Nica Rustica Shade.
Really?
Yeah. And I always feel that way. I always feel like I usually am disappointed with the freestyle cigar. And then when the cigar comes out full production, I always feel that the cigar's better. I always feel that way, except with the Adobe. I like the Adobe from jump to full production cigar. I didn't dislike the new Nica Rustica Shade as in the crown or as a freestyle live cigar. I was more disappointed that it was a Nica Rustica Shade. But now that I walked that back last week in the sense of Nica Rustica is unmistakably Nica Rustica, and I think that Connecticut Shade cigar is unmistakably Connecticut Shade. I think it is the Connecticut Shade of Connecticut Shades. And I do believe, and we'll die on this hill, that the Nica Rustica Shade is just an unsweetened version of the Deadwood Dominicana.
What's a different blend?
It is, but to me, the Deadwood Dominicana is so light, and so is the Nica Rustica Shade. I feel like the only difference between those two cigars is just a sweet cap. So maybe we'll need to do a show where we have both of them in the shop and
give it a try.
We go back and forth and see. Oh, well, there are some different nuances there.
The other cigar I did that I really liked was the Natura 5 year. I just reviewed that. I shot the video. I haven't edited and posted it yet. It'll probably drop next week. But it's their 5th year anniversary. And usually you get a 5 year anniversary, the price point's going to be through the roof, right? This price point's not bad. Nice. It hits right middle shelf. So
Jimmy J says he had the Rojas Blue Bonnet, very nice. The Farce Habano, also very nice. Breakfast in Portugal Maduro, very nice. Sancho Panza Double Maduro, very nice. I really went hard on Matt Booth stuff this week, but they were all very nice to you. Speaking of Matt Booth in Room 101, we are doing an awesome promo this month with Room 101. I got to smoke. No.
Come on, now you got to get it together. Now that you got all these jobs.
When at the shop that I work at, we are doing for the month of September a Room 101 promo, and you have the chance to enter to win the Room 101 anniversary humidor, the really big humidor. Now, it does not come with all the cigars. It does come with the Culebras, but all of the cigars because it has the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th anniversary sticks in it. I think it's 20 cigars per box. We made 20 packs of all 5 cigars. But if you buy 5 cigars, you get 1 golden bucket as the promo item. I think if you buy 10, you get 2 golden bucket. If you buy 20, you get the Uncle Lee's 5-pack, which is neat. And then you also get all of your entries in to win the humidor. So if you're in Greer, come hang out with me. Come pick up some cigars tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow and Saturday night. Tomorrow day, Saturday night. Bob Ellis likes the original Nica Rustica better than the Adobe. The only one I smoked this week for the first time was the Elano DS before and after. Very good smoke. Had a Dumbarton 127 last night. Amazing cigar. You had that one not too recently, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't reviewed it yet.
Dan Burns says, I bet Corona might have them. What cigar are you talking about? Do you like Padron? If so, which one's your favorite? I'm not a big Padron fan, but my favorite Padron is the 1964 Anniversario number 3, which is a 6x60 box press. Fantastic cigar.
I like the Diamaso.
Jimmy J says the Golden Bucket is great. It is. I smoked it on Tuesday. Really like that cigar a lot.
Oh, that's a cigar? I thought it was like a ticket.
The Golden Bucket is this. So Matt Booth has a few buckets, the Death Bucket, another bucket, and then the Golden Bucket. And the Golden Bucket's like a special version of it. And so you get one of those free after you purchase 5 cigars. It's a really good cigar. I'm a big fan of it. But we do have a lot of Room 101 going on. So we got the Hit and Run. We have 2 types of Johnny Tobacco Nut. We have the full farce lineup. We have the big payback stuff. We have the Doomsayers, and then we have the anniversary stuff. So Martini says he got me his first Fratanga. Haven't smoked yet. Fantastic cigar. Still my favorite cigar of the year. New cigar of the year, should I say. One of my favorite Room 101 is the Johnny Tobacco Nut. Yeah, I love the Johnny Tobacco Nut. I
bought it first because of the band.
Yeah.
I bought my second one because of the flavor.
I really like the Johnny Tobacco Nut. I know I've smoked a Hit and Run. I just don't remember it. So I need to smoke another one. I like one of the big payback a lot, but Johnny Tobacco Nut stands out as my favorite. The 15-year anniversary is not bad. It's pretty good. The 13th anniversary is my favorite out of the anniversary series. The 10, 11, the 11 especially, I did not like at all. I thought that one was just total booty juice.
Are you getting a paycheck?
No. I'm talking about cigars.
No. I'm talking about you're spending your whole earnings on cigars. You're taking out the humidor smoke while you're at work.
I haven't bought any Room 101 yet. It's just Room 101 that I've smoked in the past.
Oh.
I've bought Room 101. I buy cigars. I'm a cigar smoker. What we don't have here in the studio, I like to try to find sometimes out in the wild because I want to smoke it and be a part of the Cool Kids Club. It also makes for a nice comprehensive list. This will be probably my most comprehensive list ever. Last year was pretty good because I think I only had 3 companies that repeated and only twice. So this year I'm going to have the opportunity to add a lot more companies into the mix that I've never had before because I'm having a better opportunity to get cigars that I normally wouldn't get in the first place. Now, with PCA every year, I have a great opportunity to get a lot of cigars.
Right.
So the past 3 years, I've had a better they're getting better as they go because of PCA and the ability that affords us to be able to sit down with these companies and get their cigars and whatnot.
And PCA is cool because I never, ever would have had the Paustani San Andreas on my list. And it's, I really believe
it's a really good cigar.
It's going to be on my list.
Yeah.
And I got that at the show.
Yeah, that's a freaking good cigar.
That's one of the best San Andreas I've ever had. Mexican San Andreas I've ever had.
That cigar is really good. Fratanga is really good.
There's a lot of great ones.
There's a lot of cigars that I've had this year that, I really have been a fan of. The Robusto size of the bronze back, really good. Really enjoyed that. I don't know exactly what the difference is between the true Robusto and what he released last year. I think I like the one he released last year more than I like the Robusto, but I have become somewhat of a Robusto fanboy. I still prefer Toros. Toros are what I like to smoke. They're just a big enough ring gauge and they're a long enough smoke that you can get in about an hour if you're just sitting down to smoke. That's one of the things that I've really noticed, like on the days that I work, like behind the bar and selling cigars. It's like I don't smoke cigars nearly as fast as I would normally.
I bet.
But that's because I can't, I'm not taking a lit cigar into the humidor whenever I'm helping somebody out. If I'm making drinks, I'm also not walking around with a cigar in my mouth because I don't want to accidentally put ash in somebody's drink or something like that. So I smoke cigars a lot slower than I normally do when I'm there. But for a 7-hour shift, I'm still getting 3-4 cigars in. Because you guys came last Saturday, you and the First Lady and some friends of the channel and friends that we've had for a long time. They came. Some new friends. They ended up coming and having a really fun time. Got to suggest some cigars to some people, and it's just good to have you guys over there. And you guys got to see me doing my thing in my own element with.
Yeah, and I'll talk about it tomorrow on the podcast. That's a main conversation piece of the podcast, is talking about the experience that we had in the difference between a tobacconist and a cigar jockey. And there's a huge difference. That's for sure. And you embodied a lot of the great characteristics of a good tobacconist.
I will say, one of the things that I bring to the party that not a lot of other people that you bring in for the first time ever working in a cigar shop is somebody who's been exposed to the cigar industry in the capacity that I've been exposed to it. I've been fortunate, we're in season 7 of Chief Talk, and I've had the ability to travel, because of my involvement with the channel. We've been in Nicaragua, we've been all over the United States, and we've had the opportunity to sit down and rub elbows with some of the industry's greatest blenders, Willie Herrera,
Absolutely.
Steve Saka, Nick Melillo. We've been able to sit down and talk with them, and then we've been able to talk with other blenders, James Brown and Eric Bay and
Tampa.
Ricky Rodriguez. And, you get to sit down and listen to why they do the things that they do, and you get to learn about the cigars. And I think that's one of the things that kind of people really appreciate it was funny. I was up at the Cigar Lounge today, and I wasn't working at Cigar Lounge. I was working on channel stuff. And one of the guys who was working tonight, he was like, "Hey, can you come tell us a little bit about the Room 101 stuff?" And I was like, "Absolutely. I'd love to." And it's just, we've always said, and I think one of the, as my boss would call it, is a superpower, is how much I care about the cigar culture and how much I care about cigar smokers creating spaces where everyone feels like they belong. Creating an environment here on Chief Talk where, we're not getting divisive over politics or religion or even divisive over over the cigars that we smoke, and just having a really good time and, listening to what people smoke. I love to hear what you guys are smoking throughout the week, especially if it's something new, because it's something I want to keep my head out for. Bob Ellis posted the other day that he had the Corojo Lancero from Foundation. I said, "Hey, please report back, because I want to know.
Right.
I want to know what you say, because I want to smoke that cigar. And if he says it's absolutely dog rocket, I'm probably going to love it, because mine and his palates kind of just go back and forth. We agree on some stuff.
One of the things I like the fact is that you don't have to be the guy. You don't have to be the guy who knows everything,
right,
or the guy who's the smartest, or the guy who talks the most. We both do this in a way where we let everybody else talk first. And if there's something to add, we add it. And if not, we agree. We don't have to be the guy who says, "Oh, I know such and such and so, and I know." And most times when we're talking to people, we proceed our statement with, "I had a chance to sit down with so-and-so," not trying to throw out names, but saying, "I learned this from Steve Saka," or "I learned this from Will McFall," or "I learned this from somebody else." It's not like, "Well, I know such and such and so-and-so." We're not trying to build clout. We're trying
and
to
one of the things
share
that
information.
one of the things that I've really come to appreciate from the guys who are regulars and members at the lounge is they like to just ask questions and say, "Okay, so why are you suggesting this cigar?" Like, we had one guy come in last week. He's like, "Hey, I've heard you've suggested cigars for all these people, and they say that you are 100% spot on with what you asked. So I want you to go in there. I'm going to tell you what my price is. I'm going to tell you what I like. I'm going to tell you what I don't like. I want you to pick me out a cigar. I said, okay, let's walk through the humidor. And when I say walk through the humidor, it's not a huge humidor. Like it's like what, 16 feet deep or something like that, 8 foot wide. And it's just panels, right? It's a horseshoe.
faces.
It's a horseshoe, right? So it's not like a middle aisle or something like that. Excuse me. And so we stand in the middle of the humidor, and I literally start with what I know the best. Obviously, Drew Estate, Foundation, Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust, Alex Bradley. Those are the cigar companies that I smoke the most of that we carry, right? And so I say, look, this is what I would suggest in these, and this is what I get out of them. I also sometimes you get to provide a little bit of a backstory on the blend, the backstory on the blender, the backstory on the company, and people enjoy that. They like learning something new about it because, one, it's something that they can take back to their buddies and say, hey, did you know this?
Yeah, right.
It
makes them the
like
guy.
I had a guy sitting up at the bar a couple weeks ago who was smoking a pulpetta, and I was like, yeah, it's a spicy meatball. And he was like, you know what? He's a guy who owns a food truck. He makes barbecue. He's like, you know what? This kind of does remind me of something like a spicy meat. And I was like, well, it's funny because on the band is a meatball on a fork. And he's like, no way. And he looked down and he's like, oh my gosh, my brother who lives in Illinois or Chicago or I don't know what it was. He's like, he loves these cigars. And I bet he doesn't even know that. And he texted me. He's like, I didn't know that. So it's kind of cool. You can provide a little bit of information of that. But the guy, I ended up leaving my shift before he finished cigar, but I came in the next day and he was like, Chief, you killed it. That was great. It's a fantastic cigar.
That's cool.
So I try to, my palate's not everybody's palate, but I can tell you what I get off of a cigar. And that's what we do here. That's what you do with cigar reviews is you might not be able to break down and tell you exactly what the tobaccos are. Like those 4 cigars over there, you were looking at them and whatnot, but let's be serious. You were just looking to see if there was a color variation, kind of going off of what it was. You weren't like looking at it and saying, oh yeah, that's a, Brazilian Alparaco with a. And
there's a couple Drew Estate cigars that roll in Tabato style. So I was looking for in Tabato style. So that would have given me a very, very small window on whatever that blend was, but none of the cigars were in Tabato style.
So it's all relative. This is what you say you want a light cigar. I'm going to tell you what I think is a light cigar. You want a medium cigar? I'm going to tell you what I think is a medium cigar. You want a heavy cigar? I'm going to tell you what I think is a heavy cigar. You want a heavy cigar that's got a little bit of sweetness to it? All right, I'm going to put you over here on the Leather Rose. You want a light cigar that's got a little bit of sweetness on it? I'm going to put you on the Deadwood Dominicana. You want a light cigar that, has a few flavor profile transitions? I'm going to put you over here on this Kintsugi Wabi Sabi.
Or Wagashi.
We don't have the Wagashi.
Mm-hmm. Another thing, too, is that you don't paraphrase your flavors as good or bad. Right. Even if you like leathers and you don't like spice and somebody says you like spicy, you know what spicy is and you let them decide if it's good or not. Right. You don't paraphrase it with, well, you ought to have this because this doesn't have that and the other thing. Right. You just say, this tastes like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I try to stay away from this tastes like, leather. I'll say things like I get notes of or hints of, but I try not to sell anybody and say like, oh, this is a chocolate bar or this is a beef jerky stick or something like that. Now I have said, and I think it's kind of cheesy. I say, so you say you want a medium cigar, but you want it, a little bit full. Are you looking for something that's kind of meaty? And then they say, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. It's like, all right, let me head over to the Red Meat Lovers Club because all those cigars are meaty. Now, I'm not a big fan of the ribeye and the other ones, the whatever. I'm a big fan of the Fratanga. So I've been pushing Fratanga anytime anybody says that they want that type of cigar.
And it's got a different, it's the same band, but it's got that gold instead of just a regular white too. It pops more than the rest of them do. It looks even better in the box, to be honest. Somebody's on their phone.
Yeah. Hold on.
Somebody's on their phone. Everybody that's watching, the 18 people that are watching, you're not as important as whoever's on the phone because Steven just stopped. Chief just stopped everything to pay attention to his phone. My phone is sitting right here, and I'm not looking at it. I'm just saying.
Sorry. Family emergency. Not really emergency, but family dealing with something with family. So let's see. Bob Ellis says, I was glad I wasn't the only one that didn't get Mexican hot chocolate. I don't, and we've talked about that on the channel. Like I think that was something either Willie said or somebody in the blending team said, and Drew Estate just ran with it.
It sells.
I think it was something for them to say, oh yeah, Mexican hot chocolate. I don't think anybody ever tasted Mexican hot chocolate unless they tried to make themselves taste it, because you didn't have something
went to Mexico.
Well, you didn't have something that was. It's not a heavy cocoa cigar, right? It's a stout cigar, but it's not heavy cocoa. It's not heavy on the pepper either. So for me, I don't get the whole Mexican hot chocolate vibe.
It's got some pepper
out
in
of
it, and you can pull that dark cocoa out the back of it. But I think it's more a burnt espresso than cocoa. Which those two to me, cocoa, espresso, coffee, all those three pretty much run side by side. I mean, you could flip one for the other pretty regularly and easily. So,
but no, that's one of the things that I really enjoy. You know, I'm enjoying working behind the bar and making drinks when I can make drinks, and I'm not freaking out about, do we have this, or, you know, the one thing that I struggle with the most at the bar is when somebody says, hey, what lagers do you have, or what ales do you have, or what sours do you have? Like, I don't know. Like, I can point up to the menu that's 3 TVs of all of the 24 taps that we have available, but I don't know, because I've drank like 3 things on that: Miller Lite, Yingling, and Guinness. All the other stuff, I don't know. We've got IPAs up there, we've got sours up there, we've got lagers, we've got Belgian stuff, we got German stuff, we got American stuff, we have local stuff, local breweries. So I kind of freak out when they're like, I'm like, I can ask that guy over there real quick and I can get back to you.
Now, I did plan that if you were working behind the bar Saturday, I was going to give everybody money and have them come up and ask you to make them like a highball or a Rhode Island Ricky, or
I do have an
Prohibition drink.
I do have an app on my phone.
Like
I do have an app on my phone where I can punch that stuff in and look it up.
Or say, will you mix me up something that's a little sweet, a little smoky, a little this, a little that, with
a cigar pop,
3 or 4 different bourbons, and I'd also would like one of those dark cherries, and just really make you stretch and sweat just a little bit. But you weren't behind the bar, you were busy. I actually, one of the things, and I said it on the podcast tomorrow, I was very impressed with that you were working. You came over and checked on us every once in a while, but you never came over, stood and hung out. Even when you had nothing to do and you were checking out the football game for 45 seconds to a minute, you stood off on your own. It wasn't that you were separated, but you were like, well, I've got work to do.
Also, one of those things is like, I knew that you guys were there to support me and hang out, but you guys were also there to hang out with each other too.
Yeah, but you count in part of that. I mean, you're part of that group.
No, for sure, but it's also a mindset of like, I could have walked away from you guys, other than coming, because I came and changed your guys' ashtrays out. I came and make sure, asking if you guys needed another drink, or if you guys needed me to take cups away or something, like if you needed more ice. I'd come over and talk and hang out every once in a while too, but
right, but you didn't come over and hang out like
because that's part of the job. Is right. Like, I have to make sure that, one, while I'm thankful that you guys are there, I'm also thankful that other people came in, to hang out. And one of the things about Saturday nights is nice is I work with another team member, Lexi, and she likes to be behind the bar, from what I've been told, and that's kind of her zone. And I'm the new guy on Saturdays. She's been doing Saturdays for years, so I'm not going to get in her way. And if she likes to chill out behind the bar and do that stuff, I'm definitely not going to get in her way. And also, I'm way more comfortable in the cigar realm. I was going to
say your comfort zone was in the humidor.
Yeah. And so if I'm out there in the lounge and out in the humidor, that's something she doesn't have to worry about. And I'm collecting the drink glasses that are out there. I'm emptying the ashtrays so she can be focused on the bar when people come to check out or put another thing on their tab or whatnot. She's there. So it's a good team ecosystem kind of sort of thing. Agreed. Now, like on Fridays when I'm by myself, it's a different beast. Now, luckily, Fridays aren't like super duper heavy. 2 Fridays ago it was, because it rained all day and everybody decided they didn't want to be outside. They want to be inside. It was great for tips, but I was definitely running, and the co-owner of the shop is there doing business hours, workshop hours.
And you'll jump in and help.
And so if I start drowning, he'll jump in and help me out.
Now, how's your fitness routine going since you've got all these new jobs?
I mean, I have lost 14 pounds since working, by the way, because I drink nothing but water the whole entire time that I'm there. I'm walking 6,000 plus steps a day in that small, area, which, I mean, it's not small, but it's not a huge shop. Like, it's not a Corona shop.
But you're moving.
But moving back and forth, checking the dishwasher, putting the dishes in the tray to make sure they're going to put it in the dishwasher, pull them out of the dishwasher, bring them out, go back and forth. Somebody wants ice water, a few ice waters. You got to go all the way to the other side of the shop, bring it all the way back out. So it's, I'm averaging, 6,000-7,000 steps a shift. And then, I'm drinking a ton of water. And like tomorrow, I work from 11:30 to 5. So I usually will eat a late breakfast after I drop Shepherd off at daycare. And then I'm not going to eat while I'm working. One, because I don't want to get my clothes dirty. And then the off chance that I drop something on my shirt, I don't have a backup shirt in there to pull out and whip out, right? And I don't want to look like a slob while I'm working.
Smart.
Two, I don't want to drop food in my beard and then not realize that for the last 4 hours I've been helping people, I've got, Chinese sauce stuck in my beard. So, I just choose not to eat, and then I'll just eat when I get home. And so, I'm eating 2 meals a day when I'm working those shifts. So like Saturday, I'll eat, breakfast and lunch, but I go in at 5 and I work until, 12 o'clock and then get out at, right before 1. I'm not eating dinner. So I'll go home and maybe eat something to snack and then go to bed. But, I've lost 14 pounds and starting. But no, I do have some more stuff coming down the pipe that I'm getting lined up right now, but getting back into the gym will happen. I really don't have an excuse because the days that I work, so I work Monday for my media stuff, but I have to be in super early. But I could drop Shepherd off at 7 o'clock in the morning. I got 3 hours before I have to go into work at 10. I could go to the gym after dropping Shepherd off and then work out, go home, shower, change, and then go to work. So I can make it work. It's just I got to make the schedule work. But so, let's see. I know you recently started, but have you learned something that you may not have known related to the lounge and the business? I mean, so the easy stuff is like doing stuff behind the bar, making the coffees or the drinks or the cocktails, the beers, whatever, learning how to do some of that kind of stuff. The talking to people and whatnot, like that comes pretty easy because I do it every single week on Chief Talk. I might not be talking to you guys face to face, but I'm reading your comments and having a conversation in a discourse with you guys back and forth. Like that kind of comes naturally to me. And then I'm able to pair that when we go to cigar events. Because I go to cigar lounges outside of, now that I'm working at one. It's like, this isn't the first time I've ever stepped in a cigar lounge. This is my first time in actually working hospitality in a sense of serving people and, emptying ashtrays and making sure drink cups are put up and helping people, when people come up to buy something, you help them out, you check them out or whatever. I worked at Staples. I had to run a register every once in a blue moon. But, for the most part, it's just kind of strengthening some of the things that I just haven't had to use in a while. So learning new things, maybe ways to sell people a cigar or to make the drinks or, how a cigar shop /bar/restaurant is run. But for the most part, I mean, I don't think I've really learned anything wildly new.
How's the sugar coffee?
I haven't had it yet.
I thought you were going to have it.
I wanted to. I was going to make myself one on Monday, but I ended up getting just swamped in media stuff and didn't do it. And then since I've been, I worked on Tuesday for a couple hours and then I was there. I was there today. I didn't make one. So I'll probably make one tomorrow. But I am looking forward to that. Thank you for reminding me about that. What he's talking about is the putting the raw cane sugar on top of the espresso puck and then making the espresso through the sugar. So, all right, we are here at 9:45 p.m. We've been running the show for an hour and a half. Bob the Cigar Guy, hit him with one last final Bob the Cigar Guyism.
I'd just like to tell you that I got 4 out of 4. That's 100. So on average of all these awful things that Chief puts me through, I'm passing. I have a passing grade.
No, you don't.
Yes, with all of them, I do. I am passing well. I'm even valedictorian of my own class.
No, we have done 4 challenges and you have failed 2, passed 2, so you're still at 50%, which is a failure.
No, I aced one, flat out 100. The other one was a 99. The other one was a 60. Other one was a 20 or whatever. And so grading on the curve, we kicked that one out.
No.
So I'm running a 95 right now.
Not even close.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. But summertime's over. Whether you know it or not, trees are changing. It's time to enjoy. It's time to take a break. It's time to take a pause. You done did the beach thing. You done did the running around thing, the hanging out with people. Take some time to hang out with yourself. You're in best company when you're with yourself. And I do mean that. And I was talking to a fella today who I was talking about that I wanted to buy a pistol. I've been wanting to get this specific pistol forever. I don't need it, but I've always wanted one. And he was talking about pistols. He goes, well, I don't ever want to buy a pistol again because the last time I bought a pistol, I bought it based on mouthfeel. And I was like, it doesn't make sense. And then it dawned on me that he was thinking of making a long-term choice for a short-term problem. And I told him, I'm so glad that you chose not to use that firearm because the world's a better place because you're here. So if you ever find yourself in a position like that, know that you are not alone. Know that it is not overwhelming. Know that you can reach out to me and Chief, and we are here for you. There are other people who love you, and we want to keep you around as long as possible because you make the world a better place. And that's a fact. That's an honest to God fact. So please don't ever feel like that's an option because it's not. It's never the right option. So please, 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 if you ever get in a position like that, take a moment to reach out and call me, Chief, professionals, a hotline, a friend, whatever. Just don't make those bad decisions, please. I'm asking you, I'm begging you not to make decisions like that. And if you see somebody struggling, I hope you take the opportunity to share that with them as well. So I know you're not going through that. Maybe somebody in your world is. We love y'all. We absolutely do. We want you around for a long, long time. That's a fact. Chief, to you.
Yeah, I echo and parry all the things that you say, or parrot all the things you say, not parry. That would be to fight. No, that's one of the things that I really have enjoyed working at the Cigar Lounge is just trying to continue to help create an environment that people feel like, you know, they're comfortable to come and smoke cigars and hang out and have a good time. The leaves are changing. The weather's changing. It's getting beautiful. Excuse me. So as fall starts to usher in, I hope that you guys are making plans to get outside and touch some grass, smoke some cigars, have a good time out there. And hopefully over the next week, you guys and gals will be able to find some good cigars that you'll really enjoy, you'll like, and you'll be able to report back next Thursday about all of the fun smokes you had. Also, we're going to have a really cool show next week. It'll be the birthday show, and we've got a really cool thing that we're going to drop for a couple weeks, and you'll be able to participate in. And I'm looking forward to it. It's Chief's birthday all month long. I love you all. Thank you all for hanging out with us again. We are sponsored by Drew Estate Cigar, Natura Cigar. Make sure that Chief Talk is available to you all every single Thursday night when we're not traveling, we're not on vacation, but we will be here next week. So make sure you're checking those guys out when you hit up humidors if they carry them. We love you all. See you next week. Peace.
Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Show's over. Go home. Go home. Show's over. What are you waiting for? You waiting for another show? This is a one-ticket entry. Go. Bye. Go. Go. Go.